Yeah, baby. We're back. 10 in the Head podcast number 7. The second time coming to you face to face. Coming from Spain. Hosted by yours truly, Nick Faber. Today, we're talking fantasy football, all 10 topics. It's never too early to get into fantasy football. So what we're going to do, start out with number 1. Best quarterback in the draft this year. Who are you taking? You got Aaron Rodgers. You got Tom Brady. Drew Brees, maybe. He did lose Brandon Cooks, but Mike Thomas is right there. Willie Snead always around. Matt Ryan. Julio. Come on. Who's the best quarterback? It's tough to say, but with Brandon Cooks coming to New England, you got to say Tom Brady's going to be the number 1 quarterback. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback to draft for fantasy football. But I disagree. I actually really like Tom Brady with Hogan, with Edelman, with Cooks, with a healthy Gronk, hopefully, and the slew of running backs that they have. You got to go with Tom Brady if you want an elite quarterback to lead your team this year. Question number 2, who's the best running back to draft? This is a tough one. A lot of people love Zeke. I mean, Elliott was a beast last year, but sophomore slump is a thing, and I'm not going to shy away from it. Meaning I will shy away from Zeke as my number 1 running back. Now, if he falls to me, I'll gladly take him. But that leaves us Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, in my opinion, is the top 2 running backs to go for. David Johnson has had 100 yards from scrimmage in every single game last year. Le'Veon Bell is a stud. You can't go wrong with him. If you are asking me who I think will be the number 1 running back come the end of fantasy football season, it's going to be David Johnson yet again. He is a stud. There is a reason why he should have been the number 1 draft pick last year. Everyone, Todd Gurley. Great, good idea. David Johnson's the best running back in the league right now. There's no getting away from it. Number 3, your early sleepers. It's very early. We're 1 week into OTAs. And I've seen a couple people jump off of the screen at me. For instance, tight end Julius Thomas, Miami Dolphins, been getting work after work in the OTAs, and he is going to be good. Tannehill needs a damn good tight end to throw to, and Julius Thomas is a good tight end. He fell down in Jacksonville, but I'm not going to blame that on him. Blake Bortles is just not a good quarterback. He's not going to be able to get the ball to his tight ends. He does love Allen Robinson. There was a reason why Julius Thomas was not a stud in Jacksonville like everyone thought he was going to be. But watch out for him this year in Miami. Also, Cameron Meredith, wide receiver, Chicago Bears, was a stud last year when given the opportunity when Jeffrey was gone. Yes, they have Trubisky and Mike Glennon at the helm, whoever takes the nod. But they're going to be down. They're going to be throwing. There will be garbage time points to be had for the Chicago Bears. And I love Cam Meredith this year. I don't love Kevin White. Jeffrey's gone. Give me Meredith, baby. The 3rd early sleeper you want to keep your eye on, Jamal Charles, running back, Denver Broncos. Yep, C.J. Anderson's there. Charles might not even be a starter. But that's why it's a sleeper. Someone who's going to get their opportunity and will flourish in it. He will be able to hit holes. He should be healthy. He should be good to go. And he's going to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. So I'm saying Jamal Charles as a late sleeper, but keep your eye on him. Number 4. What do you do if you have what do you do with your first round pick? I'll put it. Do you draft a wide receiver? Wide receivers are getting points on points in the new NFL. Do you draft a quarterback? Do you draft Brady, A-Rod? Or do you go with the traditional running back, which a lot of people have, for the last couple of years, been trying to shy away from in the first round? But I'm going to go with the traditional pick and say you got to get a running back. The difference between the number 1 running back and the number 10 running back last year was 130 points in a standard PPR, or in a PPR, excuse me. The difference between the number 1 wide receiver and the number 10 wide receiver was 25 points. So the difference of 25 points and 130 points is huge. David Johnson, in comparison to Lamar Miller, is phenomenal. That's an extra 5 points a game, which might not be a lot, But in comparison to the extra 1.5 points a game from Julio Jones to whoever you want to put as your 10th wide receiver, it's significant. It's significant in those 1 or 2 point matches that you have that you lose because you decided to draft Julio Jones over David Johnson. Not to say Julio Jones isn't going to be a stud, but if David Johnson and Le'Veon Bell is there, Devontae Freeman even, Zeke, obviously, get them. They are going to be worth it on your team. That's what you need to do. Number 5, players to avoid. Jordan Howard, running back, Chicago. They're not going to be able to throw the ball until the fourth quarter when they're down by 30, and that first 3 quarters they're going to be trying to run it and do a ground and pound with Jordan Howard. It's not going to work. They're going to stack the box. They're going to make Glennon or Trubisky throw. It's not going to work for Jordan Howard. Number 2, Sammy Watkins, wide receiver, Buffalo. Now, this doesn't mean I don't like Tyrod Taylor, but Sammy Watkins himself, no, I don't like him at all. I will avoid him in every possible way. Number 3, this one might surprise people, but Brandon Cooks, wide receiver, New England. People are going to be freaking jumping off the boat to get him, but it's not going to work out. And the reason why is because Tom Brady is a damn good quarterback, and New England is a damn good offense with a great mind. They're not going to just throw the ball to Brandon Cooks. Now, he'll get 3-4 games with over 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's awesome. But the other games, he'll get 3-4 receptions for 30 yards, no touchdowns. They're going to be giving it to Edelman, to Gronk, to the running backs. We just went over this. Don't go big on Brandon Cooks. Number 6, best rookie to draft. I like this year, my 3 rookies that I am keeping my eye on for the preseason, for the OTAs. John Ross, wide receiver, Cincinnati. Joe Mixon, running back, Cincinnati. One of those 2 players are going to be a stud. I can guarantee it. Jeremy Hill sucks. Joe Mixon comes in. Bernard's a 3rd down running back at best. Watch out for Joe Mixon. He's going to be a stud. He's literally both Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill put into one. He'll be very good. John Ross has the speed to blow the top off the defenders. Watch for him and A.J. Green running up the slot sides with Eifert in the middle. Cincinnati could have a good fantasy football year. I'm not saying good year, but a good fantasy football year. The rookies to avoid, number 7, O.J. Howard, tight end, Tampa Bay. Too many options. Winston loves Mike Evans. Austin Seferian-Jenkins was a great tight end prospect and had a couple good games for Tampa Bay, but never did what he was expected to do game in and game out because Winston just likes Evans too much. And now they got Djax out there, and he's looking amazing in OTAs apparently. So avoid O.J. Howard. Mike Williams, wide receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers. Again, just too many options. Last year, you didn't know who the number 1 wide receiver was when Keenan Allen went down. But guess who's coming back? Keenan Allen. Plus, they have Tyrell Williams. They're just going to be a lot of options. Hunter Henry is a damn good prospect this year and a good sleeper, another good tight end sleeper if you want to put that in your notes. Also, the last rookie to avoid, unfortunately, Christian McCaffrey. I do like him, but he's just not going to be able to do it. John Stewart was one of the most efficient running backs last year in the final 4 weeks. Number 8, is Gronk a first-rounder? Yeah, I know he got hurt last year, but you need to go back after him. Just go back to the well. It's okay to do that. He will be a stud. He is Gronk. It is Tom Brady. Get Rob if you have a chance. Number 9, who will lead the Saints backfield? Now, they got Mark Ingram. They got Adrian Peterson. Who are they going to... Is there going to be a number 1 running back? Are they going to do RBBC running back by committee? It is extremely tough to predict, in my opinion. But I'm avoiding Mark Ingram, especially because he did not do me good last year in fantasy. And I'm going with AP. Watch out for AP to be a top 10 running back and Mark Ingram to fall off if he's even on the Saints by the week 6, by the trade deadline. At number 10, will Beast Mode be a viable option as a running back 1 in fantasy football in Oakland? I think so. Get him. It's Beast Mode, baby. He's just going to run and run and run and run. That's just what's going to happen. So get him. It's been great. Thank you for listening. Quick 10 topics, 10 minutes always. Follow at Russ NFL Draft on Twitter. Listen to the Devil's Cut Band. And you can follow me on Twitter at 1229Dakin. Thanks for listening, guys. It's been a pleasure.